Hello and welcome to the space between ideas. I'm Blank Gates. This is a reboot from this morning. Turns out that this morning was a very big hassle. A very big hassle indeed. Now I'm curious to know if this is going to show. So I'm just clicking my live video. I'm not going to play all this, but let's listen to a little.
Okay, Project Manager. I acknowledge your confirmation and approval of the architectural guidance for task F1.2. I am confident in proceeding with its implementation. I will now begin formulating the first prompt for the lead AI cursor to start on task F1.2. Backend, implement put, API, tasks, taskId, API, plus testing. Here is the prompt that I will provide to the project manager for execution in the cursor AI IDE. Hello cursor. You are acting as the lead AI developer for the Management Guidance Application MVP project. Your task is to begin implementing the put, API, tasks, taskId, API route and its corresponding jest test file for task F1.2. Please create the following two files with the initial structure provided below, incorporating the specified architectural guidance and referencing patterns from the existing task F1.1 implementation. File 1, src. This file will contain the put API route handler. File 2, src, ts. This file will contain the jest tests for the put API route. Project Manager, please execute this prompt in the cursor AI IDE. After execution, please relay the full output from cursor, including any confirmations of file creation and the complete contents.
What the heck just happened? All right, so it doesn't, the audio doesn't read. I didn't read. Okay, so it started out by reading hello cursor. And then once it hit this thing, it jumped down to here, file 1, and file 2, and it didn't read this. And then it didn't read this. Project Manager, please execute this prompt. After executing, please relay the full output from cursor, including confirmation file. I suppose it means all right. Now, it didn't put this in a copy and paste format. Sometimes it has these errors. All right, what if we just copy the whole thing? Oh, I guess I should share my whole screen. I'm used to sharing my whole screen all the time, so it's like I can't actually see what I'm doing. Okay, so let's share my whole screen. There we go. All right, so what I'm doing now is I have the prompt from Liaison, and I just wanted to put, like, I got this message from Liaison. Liaison will guide you during our session Today, I will copy and paste the messages it sends me. Liaison calls me project manager. Dot. Enter. All right, so I think it has everything in here. Hello cursor, please correct the following. Here's file 1. All right, so we're officially kicking off task F1.2. I like that Liaison gave cursor a specific task. It said that you are acting as the lead AI developer. And then it gets to work. So of course, the first thing that we want to know is, are we going to get an error right away? So this is our current architect 3.3. And I did ask architect a question at the beginning because there were some issues. So this is from the previous architect. So I got the last architect to send a message to the current architect. Welcome to the Management Guidance Application Project. You are taking the architectural helm at the pivotal and most positive moment. Why is it the pivotal and most positive moment? What, did it finish? All right, let's let Liaison work on this for a minute. We've recently completed our intensive phase of implementation task F1.1 post scoreboard task API and the subsequent debugging, and which also led to stabilization of the Sprint 3 objective module tests across all 3 AI development environments, Cursor, Windsurf, and Replete. This effort has significantly improved the stability and consistency of our code base. The immediate next development task is F1.2. As you settle in, I want to highlight a few key aspects of learnings from my tenure that I believe will be beneficial for you. All right, so here's a new process I started using, which means basically like when I run a test in the terminal, then I will paste it back in here. Here's a terminal test I just ran. Could you provide Liaison with additional context and recommendations? Enter. So what this does is, I think it significantly improves the output of Liaison, because obviously, all right, so let's take a look. So what does it say? It says, okay, project manager, I've revised the terminal output for this just run test. It appears to command this, resulting no test. The crucial line pattern is this. This indicates that just when given the path did not find any matching files, even though this was created. In addition, recommendation for Liaison, the most probable issue is to brackets. Ensure that the path is, it should be this prevent. Okay, so let's run this. And then run this. I wish there was one button. I could just click it and it would add it. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to copy this message. Add the additional test. Copy this. And see if that helps. When it starts getting like too much details, like all this code and stuff, then it's like, I don't know. That's good. I'd rather let Liaison deal with this. All right. So we're not quite in like a smooth working process. Now, eventually what happens, like as I kind of do this type of work, like a lot, like over and over and over and over, then I start to kind of notice some patterns. And I start to wonder what I should actually learn. Because at some point, like you do kind of have to learn something. And the question is like, what do I have to learn? I don't think it necessarily would stop me from, obviously, because we got to this point without knowing anything about software development. So, but I think that if you have some background in software development, then likely it will speed up the process. And that doesn't necessarily mean like I'll still have these loops, right? I'll be adding something to this, and then I'll be asking for some output, and then it'll give me this. But like if I understood what was happening, maybe I might know what to do in this case. Or maybe it's just everybody's using AI now, and everybody does the same process. I don't know. What do you think, Gordon? Gordon doesn't care. Now, here's an interesting thing with the shell, because I keep getting this weird error about shell. Why does it say 77 problems? What? Uh-oh. Maybe we can't call it the gold standard anymore. It's got 77 problems. All right, so it looks like there's probably some opportunity too. Okay, we're still facing no test issue with 0 matches. It's this, it's this, it's this, it's this. Okay, so what I'm going to do is paste this in here. And then we're actually going to run some of this stuff. Run. Note the extra, which is good practice when passing flags like the clear cache to the underlining jest command. Then attempt to run a specific test like this. Oops. All right, let's go back to the first one. Since it keeps disappearing, then I need to get a copy of it. There. Yeah, I know. Did that change? There. All right, so yeah. So architects was like, okay, core calibration documents are paramount. Your primary reference points will be the 5 core documents. They are the single source of truth for the project strategy, operations, technical decisions, current status. Familiarize yourself deeply with them, especially the team operations manual for our collaborative workflow and the decisions log for established technical standards. A key responsibility that proved crucial is the proactive definition of data models, API contracts, ZOD schemas before the liaison AI crafts prompts for implementation by the development AIs. This is detailed in the team's operations manual and helps prevent divergence and network and rework. Continue this practice rigorously. Key operational workflows. All right, so it looks like this is clarification regarding the CD command behavior. I will ensure my understanding aligns with that for future terminal command sequences. Based on the latest terminal output you provided, you're successful navigate to the directory. All right, so here's the point, right? So this is something like I should be able to understand. Now, there's just things that come up when you're learning how to design software that are important and interesting and necessary. And if you're a software developer, probably these things are easy for you, or at least you've done them so much you realize that it's important. I, on the other hand, just use AI to do everything. So I don't like I don't see all the details. Now, I don't like the way that Liaison did that because it's like relying on me to do something. Oh, here it is. I want to get these instructions from here. Navigate to the directory. Wow, these terminal commands are piling up. Rename. No match found. Okay. Since you're typing this directly into your terminal, the shell should handle the taskId part correctly, likely through globbing if there's only one match. Try quoting the source path. How do I do this? All right. So the gold standard workflow. is essential for maintaining consistency when implementing new features. Vigilance, some decisions, the project's philosophy. The role in facilitating architecturally sound decisions using this framework will be important. All right. So, is it time to ask architect for some help? Let's find out. Okay, thank you for providing the output. It's indeed a classic case of shell globbing and quoting intricacies. Let's break down the errors while seeing them are very informative. Based on the explanation about this, interpreting this, here's what happened in your attempts. Critical insight, the output of this. Reporting this is strong with the strongest evidence. It tells us the director trying to rename is not literally named this. My previous output shows this. This is a critical distinction. New course of action. Perform the following in your terminal from the guidance directory. Where's that directory? In the right one? It's the same. Okay. It appears to be slightly oversighted This appears to be a slight oversight where the internal vision number reference, I already fixed that. All right. Kind of like a not class. Hey, I got my first comment. Any careers advice in my third year computer science from India? I came from middle class, local college. Any tips? Any career advice in my third year computer science class from India? Well, I have zero coding and software development experience. And I'm able to code using a system of managing AI instances. So it's important to learn how to use AI tools. I just don't understand what's happening here. So I guess, yeah, so software development. So I have two AIs. I have my liaison AI talking to my cursor AI. They are trying to solve this problem together. And like I was saying, like if I had a better foundation in computer science, I might actually know what they're trying to, and maybe it would be like a really simple issue, a simple solution. But since I have zero computer science experience, then it means that like maybe we're spending like an hour like basically Like, what is this craziness? Manually create the file? Manually create the file. This. Navigate to your editor's file explorer. Okay, so where's the file explorer? I have no idea. Okay, click this one. Okay. See, if you knew software, you'd probably be able to understand like where all this stuff is and what it's supposed to do, how it works. See, look, why do I have an SR? See here, and then have another SRC here. What's the difference? Why is it important? Okay. So we got an SRC, APP, API, tasks, tasks ID, I don't get it. There's nothing in here. Create a new file named new file named. What the heck just happened? Is this the new file? Oh no, how do I undo? Undo. All right, let's try this again. New file. It's called rote.ts. Enter. Then copy this, paste it in directly. Manually create the file. New file. root.test.ts. Copy. Paste. Confirm file creation. After saving both, please run the following command from the terminal. And provide the output. Once you confirm. Yeah. This is the most important takeaway from this output. The test discovery success. Let's address the specific concerns. In this case, please update the file to use this. All right, let's bring cursor back into this. All right. My country, we're testing on skills like coding, problem solving, communication, projects. It's super competitive and often unfair. I'm looking for a real tip to stand out without using AI advice. I'm just 23. If I don't get into the job soon, I'll be jobless. All right. So the question is about how you can get a job. Well, I think probably the most important thing in this world is experience. Experience. And then the question is how you get more experience. So what's this? I'll show you a trick. I'm going to copy this. And then let's jump back into here. Let's ask architect. Okay. Look at this. And text. And use the brainstorming module to come up with some ideas. Then use the choose module to reduce the number of ideas, and then create an action oriented plan with specific tasks. All right, so let him work on that. Okay, what happened here? Excellent. I understand analysis of liaison regarding this. I'll now update line number 6. Okay, I'll do this test. Here's look, see, it can run the tests. Here's the test run failed again, which indicates to change it. Okay. All right, so it's asking me to open up this file. Still thinking. Task ID. Yeah, okay, we got it. I think this is the file. Locate number 96. It's here. Currently reads this. Yes. Change the line to how do I do this? There we go. How do you do it? Maybe you click this? No. Paste. Wait, did I copy it already? Copy. Paste. Okay, save the file. Accept. Then run the test. Okay. All right. So imitate trends. Okay. So are you still there? Apra Mayu Rus. Okay. So let's see what. See, I use this methodology for solving problems. So we use this thing called brainstorm, and then we choose some specific task, like some path, and then we come up with a task list. So that's what it decided to do. So it says number one, data structures and algorithms remain critical for interviews. Saying really you have to learn these. The problem is you can't use AI in an interview. So it means you really have to master data structures and algorithms. Build practical projects, develop portfolio of 2 or 3 significant projects hosted on GitHub, going beyond basic academic assignments. Okay, so you got to do your assignments. You also got to do some extra projects, portfolio projects. I made a video earlier. There's a company in the US, it's called YC Combinator. YC Combinator. And you got startup jobs in here. And I don't know, maybe there's some places, some way to like tell people you'll work for free. If you're a student and you got some time on your hands, try to get a job with one of these guys, work for free, and just start working. You know, I think there's a lot of places where you can find a job. The key is like getting experience. Also, Y Combinator recently they were talking about like some challenge, like a coding challenge, where you create blog articles, and then the blog articles they're about how to use AI when you're doing things in the world, when you're solving problems, and then inside your blog article, you need to have the ability for people to use AI to try out your advice. So you have to keep up with like what people are talking about and what are interesting. What's interesting to the market. Actively seek internship, learning technologies that are in demand, um, effective verbal written communication skills. Like for example, you're asking me, right? You're like saying, "Hey, can you tell me the answer?" And it's like, a software developer, you're supposed to be finding the answers yourself. So you could say to, the chat, you could say, "Hey guys, so this is how I'm feeling, right? Like I feel like this is what's happening in India. So after you tell me your advice, I'm going to try to also provide some advice and be more proactive when it comes to finding solutions. Build a professional LinkedIn profile. Participate in platforms like these hacker ranks, Code Chief. Learn to use AI productivity. Like exactly what I'm doing right now. Open source contribution, contributing to open source projects can showcase skills and collaborative ability. And then emphasizing problem solving. Then, so those are, in that section, those are like the tried and tested, right? This section is ideas called imitate trends. The next section is called ideate, which means like thinking outside the box. It's going to try to come up with some. Do we already paste this? I don't know. Excellent. This significant breakthrough. It's important. Takeaway. It's okay. Oh, it passed. All right, other ideas? Okay, niche skill development, explore, develop skills in a specific emerging niche. Cybersecurity, blockchain, create technical content, start a blog, create video tutorials, write articles explaining complex topics simply. Reverse engineer, analyze target job roles, list required skills, create a focused learning plan to address any gaps, offer tech support. Ignore. So it's like, don't do these things, anti-patterns. Often insufficient for job market demands. All right, so it says you can't rely solely on your college curriculum. It's just not enough. You don't need certificates. You need applied skills. You need soft skills, so like communication skills. How can you have better communication skills? You have to communicate more. You have to improve your job application. Better resume. Don't overlook opportunities at smaller companies or startups for initial experience. Yeah, the thing is about the software industry is like, it doesn't really matter where you start because it's all about how good you are. And so once you start working for a company, if you can make their software really excellent, then you're going to be able to find another job because you can say, hey, look, I started in this company, I made their software like this, now it's amazing, and then like now I can fix your problem too. And then you fix this problem and that problem, and you just move up and up. So it's not really about where you start, but it's whether or not you're putting time and effort into the process of learning. Like, look how much I've learned in the last little bit just from this process of developing my own little project. Integrate. So when you learn new technologies, you need to implement them right away into a project. Optimize part of your projects using relevant data structures and algorithms. Integrate technical work communication by writing detailed README and blog posts. Connect with experienced professionals. Interfere. Highlight unique strengths derived from background. For position as an engineer with a deep understanding of core principles, robust coding practices, and exceptional problem-solving skills, the way you stand out, now focusing on AI. Okay, now we go into choose. So what choose is it's going to do, it's going to be like, okay, so what scenarios are being considered? Here's some scenarios. What are similarities and differences? How do you decide on aspects? What's highly important? Actionability, impact on employability, skill development, specific importance. Evaluate differences. Make statements that support your decision. The chosen idea will provide a balanced approach, building strong technical foundation, gaining practical experience through projects, enhancing crucial soft skills, developing a unique brand. The plan will offer pathways for both the student with some time and urgent job needs. All right, so here's your action plan. Number 1, technical foundation, build strong demonstrable project portfolio. Here's the action-oriented plan. All right. Based on that, provide a comment formatted summary of key tasks. Oh no. Yo, I got a meeting I got to go to. All right, we'll get back to this coding thing later. Copy, paste, enter. It doesn't work. Dang it. I got this meeting. Okay. Change the format so I can paste the text into a YouTube comment. All right, I gotta go. I'll copy. Paste, enter. It doesn't work. It's too. All right. I'll just show it to you very quickly. All right, so this is what we got to do. You got to master core skills, build strong portfolio, gain practical experience, level up your communication, strategic job preparation, boost productivity. Check the end of the video for advice. Okay, I gotta go.